Hello, my name is Katie Worsham and I teach flute at Amarillo College, and today we will be talking about how to properly position yourself for the best sound possible while you're playing the flute. So first things first, make sure your flute is aligned properly. If your flute is not aligned properly, then it is very hard to get into the proper position. So please check out our other video on that. And then we're going to have our chair at about a 45-degree angle to the music stand. And you're going to have your feet, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders all aligned as if you were just sitting straight up. All right, so we're going to put our fingers on the proper keys, right? So your first finger goes on the second key of the flute. Then you skip a key, put your third finger down. The next key is your fourth finger. Your left pinky goes on this little flag key that sticks out, and your left thumb will go on one of these thumb keys here. For now, let's use the long thumb key. All right, then your right hand your fingers will use these keys, 1, 2, 3, at the very end of the body of the flute, and then your right hand pinky will generally be using this first key on the foot joint of the flute. All right, so let's talk about where to balance the flute on your hands, because this is very important. All right, what I want you to do is take your left hand and your left elbow, put it on your knee, and then keep your palms straight like this and bend your fingers back. Then finding with your right hand the end of your left hand index finger, right? You're gonna push down at the joint at the top of your palm, right? And you want to find the spot where your hand can provide some resistance from this position. If I'm pushing too high, it's gonna be pushing on my finger, and then my left finger bends back, my hand can bend back easily. If I push too low and it's more on my palm, right, then my palm cannot provide that same resistance. So you want to find the spot right at the base of your index finger, the top of your palm, that sweet spot where your hand provides some resistance. And that is where we are going to balance our flute with our left hand, right? And that we place between the first two keys on the flute right here. You want it to be underneath the flute right here so that the flute will be well balanced right there. Now, let's talk about right hand thumb position. All right, so when we use our right hand thumb, right, we want to gently shake it out and just let it drop. And you can see how your hand kind of provides some natural curvature right there. Then you see how your thumb is kind of naturally straight and it might just gently curve outward like this. If you have a hitchhiker's thumb, it might, bend a little bit further outward. For you, your thumb will look a little bit more bent, but the principles are the same. So don't stiffen your thumb in an attempt to try and make it straight. Put it where it's comfortably relaxed. All right, so we're going to now shake it out again, let it drop, and kind of grab the hamburger. And this is what we want to see when we're playing flute, this kind of shape, right? So you gently place your thumb underneath the flute, right under that first key that you're going to be playing with your right hand, okay? And so this creates a nice balanced system for your flute, all right? And notice when you look down the barrel of my flute, you can see that my right hand thumb is almost perpendicular. It's not going to be stiffened and perpendicular. It's just gently placed there. So a couple of common issues to look out for are using the tip of your thumb. You've got to use the fatty part of your thumb and place that under the flute, right? Stiffening out the thumb. If you see any sort of bent joints when you're playing the flute on your thumb, then it's going to eventually hurt, and it's not going to be quite as comfortably balanced as it could be, all right? Then, and also when we're talking about finger positioning, use the fatty part of your fingers to cover the center of the keys, all right? So your fingers should be able to just gently curve over the keys in a very natural position once you have balanced on your two hand spots, right here and right here, right? Okay, now let's talk about getting the flute to your face, all right? So we bring our head joint, right? We line up the center of the embouchure hole with the center of our lip. You feel the edge of the embouchure hole on the edge of where the color starts on your lip, right? Your chin needs to be parallel to the floor. Your embouchure hole needs to be facing the ceiling. And then get your hands in position and bring your elbows to the ends of your knees with your back straight. Make sure your flute is still to your face while you do this. And notice the angle of your flute compared to your body. Notice how far forward it is, right? Now we're going to just straighten our back right here. And you are in proper playing position, right? And so if you are not used to this position, I would recommend starting out every time you play flute in that position. So elbows to knees, and then just sit up straight. Be careful of twisting back, right? All we're doing is we're straightening our back. We're not twisting it. We're not changing the ratio between our shoulder and our flute, right? It's just all as nice and open as it is when your elbows are to your knees. All right, you are ready to start playing. We at Amarillo College are here to help and answer any questions you might have, so please feel free to reach out to us.